That's actually exactly my sentiment. Is that kickboxing is so much more exciting than regular boxing. I find it fascinating, right? And I wonder if, and you've gotten this a lot too, how much do you feel the lack of American names versus, you know, guys like Rico or Philippe or Robin, that they're not American, so people can't tie into them and really kind of want to love the sport, because you and Kevin are our biggest names.
Yeah. You know, I go back and forth on that a lot. You know, it's like I used to get told, you know, oh, it's because, you know, American fans won't watch. They only want to get behind Americans. I think that's ridiculous. You know, look at MMA. How many MMA superstars here in the U.S. are from Brazil or from another country? Right. You know, I think that if you're a marketable person, you come out in there and you put on an exciting fight, and you know that I think it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, me and Kevin are the guys, and you guys should all watch me and Kevin the most. But I think that you know, it's about the quality of the fight. We're not talking anymore. Nobody hears their accent. We're in the ring.
For sure. Yeah.
Or can we expect to see you actually compete as well, and you know, get into the cage?
I'd love to get down to kickboxing. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think that I've trained with some of the best. I've trained with Rico and Tyrone and even Underwood. Like, I've trained with a lot of those guys, and I've done a lot of work with them. And Coach Henry, I think, has really prepared me for a situation like that. But I am definitely a small gloves fighter, not a big gloves fighter, and that's what I came under. So I think it would be a fun challenge. But I think I would do it for fun, like Joe does MMA for fun. To do it in between MMA fights or whatever else, and make, you know, throw some filler money in there and for the excitement. But I'm a small gloves fighter for sure.
Can you explain that? Why you say you're a small gloves fighter? Are you talking about technique, or are you just talking about the actual sports? I'm
talking about the actual sports, like the way the gloves fit. Like, there's so much more that slips through with small gloves than big gloves, and there's a lot more, like a lot more feeler punches that can be thrown with bigger gloves on, so you can set up a lot more punches. And with smaller gloves, a lot, like, I can turn my thumb up and fit something through, or come around it with a hook and touch your chin and then tap right back into it. Even if you throw your high guard, I'm still going to have to touch something. Versus with big gloves, you're not necessarily used to that and protecting yourself up. That's one of the reasons why. In practice, I don't spar with big gloves anymore. I only spar with small gloves, because I don't want to get used to punching for result versus punching for placement and the effect. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's good. I never thought about it like that. That's good. Yeah.
What do you think about Bellator?
But he just asked me if we're going to spar today, and I'm thinking this bastard's going to have little gloves on.
all I brought was little gloves.
Like, you already outweighed me, and now you want to put on little gloves? That's cool.
So, talk about Bellator kickboxing, because I think a lot of us were kind of surprised when the announcement came, because, you know, kickboxing has struggled to get a good foothold recently, so we're kind of surprised, like, why is Bellator going down this route? So what do you think about the organization and the chances of being successful where maybe others haven't?
I have no doubt it's going to be successful, you know. And, I think the organization Coker is doing an amazing job, and just since he came, from the outside looking in, you can see how much different the whole brand and the growth of the company since he came. So I think that he knows how to brand, he knows how to promote, and put on exciting fights. So I think it's going to win for sure. You know, I think Viacom putting it on TV, putting it on right after the Dynamite event, I think it's a no-brainer. People are going to tune in. I think I'm probably the first fight that'll keep people going, and no one's going to turn off a Joe Schilling fight ever. I promise.
Matt, how about from your point of view? I mean, obviously, you coming over here was a big surprise, and you know, it's kind of an interesting time in the time of mixed martial arts. So, how have you enjoyed it so far, and do you think this is a path that other people might be taking very soon?
Before I address that, I love the answer that nobody's ever going to turn off my fights. That's fantastic. I don't know how to put on a boring fight, so as soon as you see it, you're going to stay watching it until it's over. It's fantastic. Good answer.
First fight with Bellator is knockout of the year. My last fight in Bellator I lost, but it was knockout of the year. So it was like, you know.
There you go.
Either way,
go hard, right?
Either way, it's gonna be exciting.
I think that I think if more people didn't go the route I do, even if they stay in the UFC, I think they're foolish. I think that you're robbing yourself and your future of money and earnings. And with the way they took our money away from us without our blessings and without any kind of conversation about it whatsoever, I think it was just a shame and a travesty for the sport, and I think it set us back. And I think that the fact that we didn't fight for our purse money because our sponsor money was so significant, that once they pull away our sponsor money and we're stuck with just our purse money, and then they're not going to increase it like they should, like we deserved, at least for me, that's the situation, then I felt like this has got to change. And I feel like I'm very fortunate to have a platform that I have, and the mind that I have that I can be a mouthpiece for that situation. And I'm not trying to be a martyr. I'm just trying to take care of my family. And if that means that other people can follow a lead that I set, then cool, come ride with me. If not, then hope you make your pennies where you can.
I wonder how you get over the hump, because what I always say is, you know, anybody that's in the gym right now, an 18-year-old kid or whatever, you know, training, thinking they want to be a professional fighter, they're all saying, I'm going to be UFC champion someday. I don't think there's anybody in the gym saying, I want to be Bellator champion someday. But financially, it might be a better decision to go to Bellator in the long run. So how do you get over that stigma of, you know, guys coming up and saying, I want to be in the UFC versus I want to be a professional prize fighter?
Well, I think we run into that a lot. Like up-and-comer guys now, like, they're enamored with the letters, right? They're not enamored with the sport. Like, maybe it's the way I grew up. Like, I'm a cream guy, man. Casual is everything around me. So if I can, you know, if I can listen to Method,
dollar bills.
Yeah. If I can listen to Method all day long, I'm going to. So I think that in that situation, if you don't respect your own paycheck, nobody else is gonna respect your paycheck. So like I said, I've got 3 kids and I've got 2 households I've got to maintain. So for me, it's about the competition. It's about the integrity of the organization I work for, and it's about the fact that the checks I get don't bounce. That's all I care about.
Is it tough? Because obviously when you say you fight in the UFC, people know what that means. You know, it comes with some cachet or whatever. Now you say I fight in Bellator or do whatever. Have you run into that where people are like, what, where, when?
I get people ask me why I left, and I tell them because the UFC became bigger than the sport, and that's never really a good thing. And because of that, I feel that they've really taken a lot of liberties to do whatever they want to do, and I think that's it's been to the detriment for sure. And by result of that, I feel that I'm so used to saying, oh yeah, hey, I'm at Mitrione, I fight in the UFC, and whatever else. And I've actually caught myself saying that, and I'm like, oh, I just switched over to Bellator, you know. And they're like, who's Bellator? Who's that? And I'm like, oh, well, it's a competing organization, you know, on the same level as the UFC, and they're owned by Viacom, they're on Spike. And when you kind of explain it to them, and it's on free TV and you can watch it, whatever else, versus the pay-per-view model, then it opens a lot more eyes. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, sure. And if you're going to be there, I'm definitely going to watch it and catch that fight or whatever else. So I think that their model of cherry picking the people that are willing to lose the moniker of the UFC and go to an organization that really does have a genuine interest, I think it's a great model, and hopefully it'll catch on. And then especially if you had the name or the draw power to sustain it. If you don't, like there's been a couple other guys that tried it, and either they're on a losing streak or they never performed what their paycheck was commanding, or they didn't have a name to sustain it, then you're going to find out your value, and that's where it comes from.
Was there, what you're saying right now, was there a fear of negative repercussions of saying that same thing when you were in the UFC?
So if I just said everything I just said and I was still in the UFC? Yeah. No, because if there was a problem to it, I'd just retire. Like, I've competed my entire life, and I'm an asshole about competition. I love it, and it's my drug. But if you're gonna reprimand me for being intelligent and for being articulate and having a spine, then I don't want to work for you. I'd rather go do something else. I have no idea what I'm going to do in my life. I'll be Joe's butler. I don't know, but I'm not going to be restrained. That's for sure.
But do you think there was a threat from the UFC to fighters? Because I've heard other fighters say off the record what you're saying, but they won't say it when the cameras are on.
Well, I mean, there's not a direct threat. There might be like an underlying, you know, but I mean, if there is, then sorry about you. You don't have the spine to do what you're going to do. Like, then you're letting somebody else run your paycheck and run your finances. You know, and I understand that, like, you take a risk. I took a risk. Like, if Bellator didn't offer me what I wanted and the UFC didn't offer me what I wanted, then I'd have to retire. I understand that. But I'm not a person who makes threats idly. If I'm going to say something, I'm going to do it. I said I was going to build some walls and a bed in my house, and I built that shit up. Like,
proud as fuck of that thing.
That shit is clean, right?
It's really good. It's really
At
good.
Matt Mitrione on Twitter and Instagram, look that shit up.
How excited are you? I mean, you having such a focal point of discussion of free agency and all that. How excited are you to maybe kind of shift past that and just get in the cage and fight?
Dude, I can't wait to go earn my money, man. Like, I'm excited about it. Like, it's especially on a Dynamite card too. You think they're gonna do the same thing they did in Italy, where they're gonna raise that cage up? You think OSHA wouldn't let it?
Off the right, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. They should.
That was dope, wasn't it?
I think Coca really likes the concept of having both of them right there to look at too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was really dope. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
That shit was sick.
Might drop it. Play 2000 Space Odyssey Odyssey, Space Odyssey 2001 was fresh. I don't remember what you asked, man. Sorry.
Just about getting back in the cage,
Oh
actually
yeah,
fighting instead of.
I can't wait, dude. All I've been doing is talking, hanging out with Joe.
Talks
That's
a
all I
lot.
do.
Talks a lot.
How does that feel? I mean, doing the commentary, do you feel like you're kind of setting yourself up for a post-fight career to have something to do when the MMA fighting is over?
I think that if you've ever met me and had an interview with me, I have a career as being a talking head or an opinion giver in some way, shape, or form. If I choose to do it, but I don't really think of that. I'm still fighting, man. I still enjoy my gig, and I'm happy doing what I do, and I'm glad that my job allows me to be home with my kids all the time and do whatever I have to do as far as a parent goes, and then go get paid to punch somebody in their mouth. I enjoy that.
He's just flipping everybody off.
Yeah.
Oh, get it. Fucking media guys, you got no respect.
He's doing these cage fights.
It's a really good mustache you've got, though.
It is, right?
It's a hell of a
Porn
flavor
stash
saver.
is like solid.
Joe, how was the Cowboy Cerrone sparring session?
I was good. We had a lot of fun yesterday. Cowboy and I get along pretty good. It was first time I met him, and moving around is it's always fun to work with other high-level guys and pick each other's brain. He has some weird shit that he does. I was like, asked him about. He couldn't really explain why he did it. I think he's just goofy, but it was cool. It's
Is he as crazy as everyone says?
What's that?
Is he as crazy as everyone says?
Crazy? We got along like weird click right away. So I guess he's as crazy as I am. So yeah.
Can't stop crazy.
I can't stop crazy.
Did he just,
Trademark him.
but how'd that happen? Did he just come by the gym? Did he call you, or what's the?
We met after my last fight in LA. He came in the back dressing room, said what's up, and he hit me up, said he was going to be in town. He was shooting Always Sunny in Philadelphia or something today.
He's in it?
Yeah, he
That'd
does
be
Big
dope,
Boys playing
dude.
himself. It's pretty dope. It's pretty cool. And he
I
hit me
wanna
up,
be
said
on that show.
you know he's got a fight coming up. I got a fight coming up, so we want to get some rounds in. Hang out, it's good.
Are you? Is Glory done? Or is it?
They're done with me, I assure you. They can. Yeah. Next question.
Okay. Well, I guess not Glory in particular, but your last fight in Glory.
Yeah, that was my last fight with Glory, and I will never, ever,
Paychecks.
ever do anything for them ever again. So, ever.
So how was your experience with them?
They put the mics back.
How do you really feel?
Matt, you've been outspoken, in the past and today, especially about, the fighter treatment and salaries and stuff in the UFC. Do you see yourself being maybe after your career like an advocate of some sort, or maybe trying to organize in some way some fighters type union or something?
I'm motivated, but I'm not driven like that. If somebody asks me to give an opinion, I'll definitely give it. If they ask me to do something to help them or to benefit other people, I'll definitely do it. But as of right now, the fighters don't seem like they really want that help. They'd rather be stepped on and trampled. So if that's the case, then it is what it is. So I'm not going to help somebody that doesn't want help.
Do you get that sense talking to other guys? Is that something you talk about just in, on an everyday at the gym kind of hanging out thing, that guys are just like, yeah, you know what, I get my money and I'm whatever?
But they don't get their money. They get their money
I
taken
understand,
from them.
it's not as much as they should, but like, hey, like I get a paycheck and whatever it is, it is. And do you see fighters that are like that just don't care at all?
Well, I think it kind of goes back to what we were saying before, that they're enamored with the letters. And it's like some people, hey, like I said, method's my guy. I'm a cream guy. So I don't care who the organization is. If I go to an organization and they treat people well, they handle things with integrity, and I get paid, why the hell would I not be there?
Would you say that the way I was never in the UFC, but like from my perspective, even with kickboxing, is like there's always somebody that will do it cheaper, and that person usually fucks it up for everybody else. And that seems to be the same kind of philosophy that you're like going on here, where it's like you're like, well, you're not gonna fuck me like that, and there's like a whole bunch of other people that are like, well, I just
I'll get fucked
can't
like
wait
that.
to be there. Oh my god, I'm just so happy to be there. It's the same guys that tell me like, oh, it'd be, it's a dream come true to fight on that card. I'm like, no, it's a dream come true to win on that card.
Yeah.
It's not just about being there. It's about going and performing and handling business. And unfortunately, there's always somebody dumb enough to do it for less.
Well, that's the thing. Like when the sponsor game was hot, and like last minute people, like a manager was holding out too hard and he lost a big contract or something like that. So like a spot was gonna be open on the shorts. And then like he would last minute, he'd go run to this place like whoever and be like, hey, you know, what do you got for this? Oh, I only got a $500 budget. Okay, cool, we'll put you on the cross for $500 then. And then you should leave that shit blank because now they're gonna be like, well, I just got this dude who's a main event guy for $500 And now like, so you're gonna hinder that. I've lost, the week of fights, I've lost sponsors because some douche took like pittance of what I was getting. And like, well, we got him and he's a bigger name than you and he got this for this amount. I'm like, what the fuck are you taking less money for, guy? Like, go out with it. Like, come on, man. Like, and you screw everybody else in the game.
I had that happen to me with a company in the past
sucks,
too.
Man. Like, and they don't understand it. And the managers are so hard up because they'll get fired if they don't bring some money in. And that's what happens.
Yeah.
Then do a damn better job and don't put all your eggs in one basket. But I guess that game's over now. Thank Reebok!